Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Chris Melia with Melia Pottery, and this year I have the honor to do a virtual demonstration for y'all. I will miss y'all in person, but please stop by the booth for any questions, especially pertaining to this demo I'm going to give you guys. And I love the conversation, love to meet you in person, and so please stop by the booth. So we're going to take a journey down the property and to our shop, to our studio, and we're off. So as you may have seen coming in from the driveway, there's a studio that I've never finished, and at some point it needs to get finished. I would like for that to be my studio, but in the meantime, we had to build a house and get that all situated, so that kind of got put on pause again, and for good causes though. And so I built the shop. I think last time I talked to you guys, I was working out of about 80 square feet, and so that was something that just had to go away because this was my shop before. Yeah, woo! And it's not really a shop unless you're a hobbit. Anyways, kilns are still here, still fireworking throughout here, and so I do have to transport work from one side of the property to another. It's no big thing. And we're off. Let's go back on our little journey. So here we are, this is where all the clay magic happens, and this is where a lot of my time lately has been spent when I'm not teaching and or just, I don't know, doing work around the property. So, yep, come on in. So this is the shop that we built a few years back. And we have clay classes that go on. We have adult throwing classes. We've had kids clay camps. And so all this stuff is convertible. It's a disaster right now because we are trying to get ready for Clay Festival. All right, so before we get started today and start wedging some clay up, I want to talk to you about what we'll be making. Today I'll be making a flower pot. And so this is my little vase. And so this guy is a small version. He's about 2 pounds on the bottom and about 1.5 pounds on top. And the ones that we'll be making are going to be a lot larger. They'll be, let's see, the base is 5 pounds and the top will be 3 pounds thrown on top of the base. And so let's wedge up some clay and get this thing started. All right, so today I'm going to be demoing a flower vase. And again, the one that we're going to be making is going to be a lot larger than this one. And so this is my small version. I love them, they're cute, they fit lovely on tables. The other ones are more so maybe like flower ornamentations in your living room or dining room or on a mantle. So first off, what I need to do is make my base. And so again, this base is a 5-pound ball of clay. It's going to end up being left a bit on the thick side because when I go to add the top on, I want to make sure it's got, the right thickness to support what I do to the top. So this is kind of a quick sort of crude shape. Nothing too crazy fancy about it. So, all right, center it up. So I'm going to leave this bottom a little thicker, just give myself plenty of trimming room and plenty of room for a lift as I curve that base. So I don't know, probably about 1/2 inch or so, maybe a little more. Open that up with a slightly flattish, but then curve that floor because we're going to bring it out and then back in into a smaller diameter. Just like in cooking shows, I have already made a base. So we're going to just continue on as if that is ready to be trimmed. All right, so we got this guy. So I made this not too long ago. It's pretty close
to that same shape. And we need to trim this up. And so I just want to look on the inside and get an idea about the diameter of the bottom that may have been kind of flat-ish. And I'll probably come down come down here and put a little mark. It's kind of like an indicator where I know, and then I'm going to look at that curve here. Well, I know about where I want to go with it. So we're going to flip it over and trim this guy. So it's pretty solid. It's surely better. Hold its shape up as I trim this. And so we're going to flip this guy over, give him some support, and get him centered up. All right, so I like to stick with these guys, having 3 areas that undulate, much like my rims, if you've seen my rims. And so what I'm going to do is, since this is a broader area, I actually mark the 9 on this, the 9 after the 3, and then that 9, and this 9 after the 3, and again 9, skip the 3, go 9, and then I know that the 3s are the areas where my tool is going to come and remove the clay, but my 9 marks are my kind of start and stop areas. So what I'll do is I'll take my flat edge tool here and just start removing a gentle undulation into the body. Okay, so that's all trimmed up. Let's get this guy off of here, and we need to make the top. All right, so the next thing I do is I'm going to take this piece, the bottom here, and I want to know about how wide I need to make the top of this cylinder that I'm going to end up throwing. So I do give myself, I don't know, about maybe just about ½ an inch on each side. Like, I want to make sure that that thing is really stuck on there and it's not going to be so close to the edge that it's going to just, I don't know, break off or whatever. So we're going to go with something that's, you can kind of see that spacing right there. It's about ½ an inch. Okay, so that's going to be the outside of the cylinder that I'm going to throw, and then we'll go from there. And the cylinder is not meant to look like a finished piece by any means, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this on to there, and then we're going to end up throwing it into the right shape. All right, so we just got done making the trimming up the bottom, and we made the top piece. It's on a back, and so now we've got to connect these 2 pieces together to make the flower vase. I think I put the other vase away. Anyways, you guys know what we're doing. I probably told you like 3 times already, but no. So first off, I gotta get this thing centered back up, and of course I'm not looking for the bottom to be centered. I'm looking for this top to be centered, and so I'm a tap to center person. I don't really know if I know any other way. That little magical thing that goes and like grabs onto your pots doesn't usually work for me. So we're going to take again that massive amount of clay that I used earlier and really secure this guy down. We don't want him budging, moving around, or anything like that. So this guy's all lugged up. You can see it's fairly round, and so what I've got to do now is I'm going to score this up and then add a little bit of water to it, make its own slip. I don't make slip and spackle slip on. It just kind of gets applied directly as is. So score it all up. It's mucky, it's messy. Anyways, this keeps it a little bit cleaner, and this clay likes to stick to itself really well. Good job, Trinity Ceramics. So we're just gonna paint a little bit of water on there. Nothing special. It ain't magic water, whatever that is. Get a little scratchy scratch. Really get some tooth into that without making it too mucky. And we're going to take this guy. So remember this short stubby cylinder? I'll flip them over. Just place them directly on there and let them just kiss right onto that pot. Okay. So one thing I like to do is I'll put my hands on this bat and I can feel if it's kind of like off level, and I can slightly feel that. So if it's level, I shouldn't be feeling much resistance like up and down on the bat as my fingers are kind of touching it. So with that being said, it should be fairly centered as well. Okay, so I'm just sealing, kissing that bottom down, the top down to the bottom. So when I go to work on it, I just don't pull it straight off. That'd be terrible. I'd have to start over. I don't want to start over. I already had problems with this headset thing. Had it in 2020, missing a piece. Had to buy a whole new headset for this. Oh. There we go. Slice that off, wire tool, bada bing, bada boom. And then now, like this is a little thick. I'll probably end up trimming it. I might trim it. I might just leave it. And the interior diameter is actually like worked out perfectly. The interior top of the top is actually perfectly like interior diameter of the bottom. So there's not like weird gaps or anything going on. And so again, this is 3 pounds of clay. That can make something pretty tall. So we're gonna work this thing. We're gonna throw this as is. And again, this is not like it didn't set up at all. This thing is still very squishy. It's all happening within like 5 minutes of each other. So I'm gonna get in here, kind of make sure it's nice and secure down at that bottom. Make sure you breathe. Nobody wants to hold their breath and pass out making a pot. I think we all started off probably not breathing making pots, but it's good practice to stay alive. I had to stand up for this one. And I don't know, grab hold of the clay and say fluff it up. Okay, got it there. This is definitely a jiggly pot. Nice soft clay. Okay, got it there. And 3. Just gonna slip it with some really thick clay body slip, but there's nothing special to it. It's just clay body that's been, watered down, stirred up. No, I didn't do a specific gravity on it, but it's just a thick slip. So we're going to cream that on there and do a couple of marks, and then we're going to let that set for a day, and I'll be back with you guys tomorrow to do my tedious sort of application of deflocculated slip. So we got that. I'm going to take the hake brush, these bamboo brushes. So I like when the bristles are, well, I say they're stiff, but we're going to wet them, kind of mess them up a little bit. Okay, so they're a little like funky looking. and give a little shake, get the water out of it. I'm going to go in here and just do some swirls. Okay, so there we are. Tomorrow I'll come back and I'll show you guys how I clean the rim up and then start applying that slip, which can take a while. Hey y'all, welcome back. Wait, I guess you guys never really left. So I am here to finish this piece up that we started, and things that I've got to do still to it. I want to go ahead and tackle the rim. I think if y'all, maybe I left it in the audio, I don't know. When I do these undulations, when I throw them in there, they tend to have flat spots, and these undulations can get a little messy. So I'm going to kind of clean those up, and then I'm going to proceed to put more slip, drier slip, on my slip that's already been applied. So first off, if you remember, I had a undulating bottom down here, and I want to keep that basically corresponding with the top and bottom, so it all kind of is unified together. So I'm going to go into the valleys here. I'm going to swoop that in the valleys with this Michael Sherrill tool. The other ones, your kind of standard hardware store ones, they're a little on the flatter side, so I kind of like that a little bit more curve to it, so that's why I use these guys. So we're going to shave that down. And I wish this was a little bit stiffer. We'll see if this works. I use one of these profile tools just to kind of round this over. I don't need it to have like a bevel lip like a lot of my mugs and whatnot do. I'm not drinking out of this. Yeah, flower water does not seem like it would taste very well. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to kind of round it over a little bit beefier, stouter sort of rim. So next up is going to be the slip work, and we'll talk about that and the consistency here next. Okay, so we're zoomed in. So I applied this, basically it's my clay body, kind of watered down, nothing too spectacular going on. My deflocculated clay body has got a little sodium silicate in it, so it's definitely mixed up stiff. It loosens up as I spritz some water into it, which helps it kind of become a little bit smoother, flow nicer. But when I first apply it, I don't want to do that yet. So I want to make sure that this stuff is kind of on the stiffer side. It's kind of tacky. It's like spackle. Anyways, standard bamboo brush. And we're going to begin applying this. So the first few layers are really boring. And sometimes it can take a little while to really get it built up to the consistency that you want. But we just kind of take this brush and we're just going to kind of go across it and allow all the high spots to be hit. Okay, so that's kind of it. Yeah, I think I've got plenty of texture on there. Still shows those sort of swirl marks, and I'm pretty happy with that. So that's gonna be it, guys. So thank you guys for watching. If you're in green, I know I said that wrong. If you're at Clayfest, swing by the booth, say hi, tell me you watched the demo. If not, say hi online. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm an open book and I'll share whatever I got. No secrets to hide here.